Today I will talk about a series of lectures on green and agriculture technology and engineering. First, I will introduce myself. My name is Yujie Lu. We will talk about the topic is storage, green passage, manage, and the safety storage. You know there are many the pests, but today I will only talk about the first on the microbiology. The contents is the four about is the pest. Many pests. So I will learn about what the group of storage green pests. At first we know is the classification of storage pest. Storage green pest is a class of storage products, microorganisms, mite, insects, and moths that activate to elemental of storage greens, enjoy storage engineering, normal life and reproduction. We know the harmlessness of storage green pest of green seed is one of the important reasons for the occurrence of green loss, reduced quality during storage. When we talk about the controls pest, we must have an idea. How about this idea? You know the microorganisms are very important biology factor in the ecological system of the green storage. Not introduced, they are one part of ecological system. So we know the occurrence of the storing green pest is a part of the biology diversity. What we can learn, why refer this one? Because when we want to control pests, most of us want to kill them out, but we can't. What we can do is how to control pest occurrence and try our best to reduce its harmful, not kill them off. First, we learn the microorganism in the green storage. We know, according to the classification, the methods of microbiology, we can divide the microorganism is bacteria, antibacterials, fungi, and viruses. The bacteria, we can divide the three. We all know the G positive, G negative bacteria. Like this finger is G positive. This finger is G negative. Another is bacillus. And the fungi we can divide the two is yeast and mold. This picture is the yeast. This is all kind of the molds. We can find the mold in our ordinary life. You can see when you eat the food, you can find all kind of the mold. We know the several common bacteria. You know, we feel the stomach ache. There is this one is ecological cause. Another is staphylococcus occurs. Salmonella and Shigella. It's a different bacteria. Another is bacillus. Bacillus is more types of the bacteria. They are different for the different strange cell diameters and lengths. Another is the spare bacteria. Spare bacteria is vapors, spare bacteria, and the spare is difference. The second, we know the morphological and the structure of fungi. The fungi is one kind of ecological microorganism. We can divide the three classes: yeast, mold, and mushroom. You know the mushroom we can eat, but the mold is harmful to the human being and the animals. We know the second, we know the morphological and structure of fungi. Fungi is one kind of ecological microorganism. We can divide them in 3 classes. The first is yeast, the mole, and the mushroom. We know the mushroom we can eat, but the mole is harmful to the human being and animal. This picture is the yeast. We know we eat in China, we all eat the mantou. Is use the yogurt. When we eat the beer, this is one. Another is the yeast colon morphological, like this one. Also, there are some different moles. The morphospheres we can find the described in the microbiology book or the notebook. There are many differences you can see. There have the first one is the penny lemurs circle color morphological, and another is our kitchen color morphological. Is we can see under the microscope the difference morphology in the microscope. We know the more how to induce the food contamination. The general rule of green moles occurrence, you know, under the poor storage condition of the food spoilage. We can see many situations like this one. This one is the wheat and the yellow and the green. There is the wheat or the corns. Under the poor storage condition, there are many wheat is polluted by the moles. This perhaps is yellow, and this is the greens. All this green is not suitable to eat. Okay, we know the effect of the microbials on quality of greens. How to infect the quality of greens by the moles? The first, we know the mole want to experience metabolism, so they can increase the green temperature. The second, they can change the color and the taste of green. The third is damage the germination ability of green. The fourth is production toxic in green. The last one is reduce the green feeding quality and the process quality. So we must know how to remove the microbiology, the infect. So under the competition, the condition, there have the greens can mold. Why? First, we must know the reason of the green mold, especially in the storage. There's some the green bonds absorption moisture. Some the storage is not leak well, so is granules leaking. As another reason is the diffusion of the moisture and the temperature. For temperature difference between the up and the down, so there have the diffusion of the moisture and temperature. So this is the reason of the greens mold. This means what the moles can induce the greens mold. So at first, at intermination stage, we can find there are three Aspergillus. The first is Aspergillus granules, Aspergillus cadenus, and other Aspergillus species. This is all the moles can reduce the greens moles at the early stage. And when the developing stage, there are many the moles, they are middle temperature moles, such as Aspergillus niger, Aspergillus flavus, and penny lemurs. As many more can reduce the greens mildews. So we must know what the main mole can reduce the greens polluted. Okay, And the last one is the pest, is the verse. We know what is the verse. With we, you can feel the fever, or you can feel the desert. We know it's the verb, it's the induced verb. So we know the verb is the non-CO type. They have non-CO type of the microorganism. It's widely distributed in the nature. We know in the human being, in the animals, plant, fungi, and bacteria, it can induce many desert to the biology. So the verse is the smallest and the more simple structure of a microorganism. We can see this is a seal, not a seal. It's not a seal. It's only a particle of the verse. This one. They can reduce all the desert of the human being. The moles not only induce the grains mold, but also they can reduce the mycotoxic. So in the recent years, we only talk about the grain safety. The grain safety most of reduced by the mycotoxic. Why? Why the mycotoxic contamination is a global program? We know we are talking about the mycotoxic. So we can analysis. First is a wide range of the pollution. You know, the grains polluted is wide in all the world. We must depend on to eat. But the grain susceptible fungi, they can public health influence the public health serious, especially cancer. Is the minute and the immune spirits. So the grains can application in the food and the animal food. With the development of the trade and economic factor, the grains, especially post-harvest, is very high. Its polluted is very high. So they can't difficult. They can't control easy. That means the mycotoxins produced difficult to control. Fungi are widely distributed, difficult to control. So there is many factor influence the mycotoxic. So we must pay more attention to mycotoxic about the grain safety. You know, what is the factor influence the mycotoxic production? We must think about, because it's not the grain. In the pre-harvest, harvesting, and the post-harvest is have the factor influence the mycotoxic. At the pre-harvest, we know there is the susceptible cultures, soils, bacteria, and rotation, etc. That means before the harvest, they have the biology control, the specific cause, contamination, toxins, and fungi. When we have the harvesting is climate, temperature, and humidity. The plant desert and insect pest, pathogenous infection, and etc. is influence the mycotoxic. Like this one is elemental factors, the temperature, moisture, and the mechanical injuries, and the insect and bird damage, and the fungi. This factor is influence the mycotoxic production. As the harvesting, we know with the cold materials, temperature, moisture, and the detection and the deposition. Post-harvest, we know the same factor, such as temperature, moisture, and the storage, elemental, fungi, breeding, toxic contact transfer, and etc. So many factors is influence the mycotoxic production. So when we want to control the mycotoxins, we must know what is the factor influence their production. Like this one picture, we can know it's clear what is the factor influence the mycotoxic. The biology factors, elemental factors, the harvesting, and the storage. When we storage, they have the temperature, moisture, and the detector. And then we will distribute for the human being, for the animal, for the many biology. So there is many more, but there are only several main mycotoxic. Like this AFT is aflatoxin, and OTA. OTA is oxytoxic. FB is famous system. Is another is occurrence is zeolanols, ZEN is a difference toxic. But we only pay attention to what is the green effect by the mycotoxic. This means what is the cause can infect the mycotoxic. We know the green, we know the weight. Many the country is depend on the weight for the food. Is bread, is the noodle, and many food is it depend on the weight. As the corn, the berries, oat, rice, and other production. This is green. Many greens can easy to infect by the mycotoxic. It's fermentation. We know the fermentation product. We know the wine. When we feel tired, we only drink the wine or alcohol. But the wine is must produced by the wheat or by the corn. It's spinach and expected. It's another is animal feed. Animal feed, soybean meals, complete feed, etc. And after we eat, we use the spinach. Spinach is cherries, black pepper, etc. Another is nut, is peanut, walnut, fig, etc. It's a water. Melons is juice. The juice is the Chinese medicine, etc. It's many greens infect the mycotoxic. This table is a pre-situation claim epidemic world wars. From this table, we can see the many countries is polluted very high. You know, is this one. This one is Lemberg, French. Is polluted, or the Italian or China. China is polluted is very high. Is the scalp epidemic. So we must pay more attention to this epidemic, the polluted in all the world. This map is the DON rest for the weight. You know the black is very high record, and the weight is low and percent. You know there is so many blue. Any blue is the high rate of the DON. Okay, we know is another is a mycotoxic is the DOT or DON is a deoxynivalenol in food chains. We know now is the polluted is this mycotoxic is DON. Is the fermentation. Is another is zero tolerance. But is DON is the main polluted toxic. This is the DON is the main polluted toxic. Why there's a DON is produced in wheat infected mainly by the phytoregular gramineals is flower stage, but it is very difficult to be decomposed. There is a wheat grains, harvest, storage, and processing. So It exists sample in the food chains to the human and animal health called the series program. We can see this figure. We know it's DON is a continuation. Its condition is good like this. They only stayed of this label for long time. So we see they exist sample in the food chains. So it is harmful to the human being and the animal. It causes the health series program. The second content we can talk about the precision of soil green pest. We know it is very harmful. How can avoid the green pest? We now have the many methods. The first we know the green heating mills is mainly due to the microbes under a pro-patent condition. Means we can control the condition. We can control the storage green pest. To improve the quality of the green storage, green moisture and temperature must be controlled. If we control the moisture and the temperature, they contamination the mold. So, in order to prevent the mold infection, create the elemental that is not suitable for the micro or the insect or the mat leaf activity, especially green mold, are important. That means we must create or elemental that is suitable the microbiology leaf activity, such as high temperature and low moisture. They can not grow quickly, so we can control the green pest. So what is the measure we can do? We can do the many measures, but the first important is how to improve the quality of green storage. That means before we harvest, we must know how to improve the quality of green storage. That means we have some standard for this one. These measures. That means before the storage, we must control the quantity of greens. There are three required. The first is dry. The second is fall. The third is night. That means before the green to storage, we must control the quantity of green. Is dry, fall, and night. At meantime, we must know the green storage separated deposit by the species, green, dry, agents, infect, insect. That means 5 separated. The first is the species, a second is green, third is dry and moisture, fourth is a green, the fifth is infect, insect. Is 4 separated. This means the important measures. One important measure is how to improve the quality of green storage. And the third is we know how to improve the storage elemental condition. That means if you buy a very expensive the coat, but you only hang the outside, your clothes will be damaged. So we must improve the storage elemental condition. We can control, we can remove the quality of green storage. So the first one is the zero mold insulation of the performance of the good project factors. This means we have the outside of the wall. This means a wall can be keep the temperature and moisture. A second, we know must the clean is the cabin cleans and disinfecting and dam bedding. This means in the outside, in the surrounding and out and the walls is all clean. The third is insert service to light. Don't not stay outside. That means we must keep the storage is very good condition. That means it's outside is a very good factories. They can keep the temperature and moisture. And the second, we must keep the clean and disinfecting and dam the bedding. And then we must choose the surface of the wall. Surface of the wall is very light. Very light. Don't not stay outside. The third, we must stringently manage population, ventilation, and CO2. Sometimes you must, when the temperature outside is very high, so you must keep the window, keep the windows is from this one to that one. We know is ventilation and CO2. The first, we must use advantage storage technology. This means you will ask, what is the storage technology? Is advantage? Is an advantage? What is the difference? So we know we have the new storage technology in China. We know the 4 components to 1. The first is mechanical ventilation and dry storage. This means before we storage the greens, you must let it dry. How to dry the greens? The first must is mechanical ventilation. The second is the double load. What is the double? Is one is low dosation of the hybrid organisms is one insecticide. That means we must keep the low dose the hybrid. Must use the low dose insecticide. Sometimes we not only double loads, we are the 3 loads. What is the 3 load? It's first the low temperature, low hydrox, and low dosage. That means low temperature, low oxygen, low insecticide. It's 3 low. We use advantage storage technology. We will this topic we'll talk about another professor. They will give you a detail how to control this storage technology. So there I only mention it. Don't spell clean completely. And we know sometimes if we don't want to the greens more, so we must do protective work for the greens heating and moors. That means before the greens polluted, we must do the protective work for the green heating and mold. When we talk about the moors, when we talk the insect, we must know the insecticide, the impeded solar. That means before we put the green in this house, we must use the insecticide before the lot of the green put into here in the impeded solar. We know the stimulation, the wire mesh for the insect and the rat, or the moors. That means we now use like this the windows. We use the wire mesh for the insect and the rat. Is another, we can set the insect length, like this one. In the windows or the door. In the window, outside the windows or the door, we use the length. Is put some insect seed or other protection of the greens. Put here. That means the insects from the outside, they want to into the weird list. They have the insect seed. They can't come in. They can't come in. That means we can put the protection outside the door or outside the windows. The third we know is the detection of the thorny green pest. This means how to detect when they infect, how to detect them. You know, is the real world is very large. We can see them, especially the mole. If you don't have the detector methods, when you found it, they can damage the widely. So before they can found they can induce the polluted, we must have the detector methods to first catch the pest. You know, the first we talk about the pest, the insect pest. That means detect the orange green pest. That means at the first we know is visual. That means we only use our eyes to detect if there have the pest. From the many methods, for example, if you have the insect flies and the clam, you can, if you into this wireless, you can find the moth fly. There must have the insect. The second is if you have the insect damage green and the insect feeding powder. If you found the powder, you can judge there have the insect. Another measure, if you have the most level course, net, insect, worm, swallows, and flies, and etc. You can judge there have the insect. Sometimes we can, according to the sensor and temperature change, force on the examination of the high temperature party. It means if the green there have the high temperature, there must have the mole or insect damage. Another effect we can indicative of the natural enemy. You know, if you have the where in the world, you can see there must have the insect. Or sometimes we can judge from the smell or the hair or the noise. So we can hear and smell. And you can check if the smell is, you know, the weight after the post harvest there is a fig. But now after, if you have the insect, the smell is bad smell. So we can use the visual inspection methods. Sometimes we can use the simple. It's simple. You must so large bond. We can put some simple. We can discuss it next. Another trip is tripping. There is another detector is methods. Like this one, you know, is the long use most of common use. Common use is double tube the green poppers or the tethers. There have the cones. This one. It's outside the tube, block the opening to the insect tube until the pulp is insect into the greens. And outside the tube is rotation, exposing the opening of the internal tube so that they may flow with the grains. That is outside, there is the inside, like this one and this one. Oh, there have some truck. You know the truck. They can. There is a truck. There has the automotive is the turbo. like detect the insect. Like this one is very clean. This picture. With the truck from here, we can use this tube and detect if there has some the insect or some the mole and some the mite. There is the pest we can detect if have them.